Hello everyone and welcome to Steno 24/7. This is video 14. Let me make sure. Let's see, we did 12, we did 13, 14. This is video 15 on the Stephen Avery case, State of Wisconsin versus Stephen Avery. We will pick up where we left off with Mr. Kratz still speaking the opening statement. He goes on until page 105, so we have a lot from him. So, ready to write? Let's begin. Mr. Kratz. We search for the first time all of the junked vehicles. At least all of the trunks are searched, and Mr. Avery's burn barrel is discovered and searched. And other things will happen, and you are going to hear from other officers that the surrounding areas, not just the 40 acres, but hundreds of acres of gravel pits and the like, are being searched in these early days. On Tuesday, perhaps the most important of all the days as far as discovery goes, those three critical discoveries are made: the Toyota key, the license plates, and the burn area behind the defendant's property. On Wednesday, the 9th, there is an identification made of male blood in the victim's vehicle. That blood matches the DNA profile of the defendant, Stephen Avery, and bones are recovered and determined to be that of an adult female. You will hear on the 10th, on Thursday, the burn area is further excavated by arson investigators and other crime lab and other types of officials, but interestingly, the defendant's DNA is now found on the key. And finally, on Friday, the 11th, the female blood that was found, the great pool, if you will, of female blood in the cargo area is now matched. It is determined to match the soda can, the saliva from the Diet Wild Cherry Pepsi, I believe, soda can in front of Teresa's car. The blood is now presumed to be that of the victim, Teresa Halbach. You have heard the term that they told me there would be no math. Well, there is going to be some science. And here's where I have to at least give you an overview of what the science of this case is going to be. The science, the blood part of the science, the DNA analysis and explanation of this case is going to come from this gentleman right here, Norm Gahn. Mr. Gahn, you will learn by his examination, is quite knowledgeable in DNA and DNA from a prosecution standpoint. And in all honesty and in all candor, that's why he was added to the prosecution team, because this is such an important part of the case. The science becomes very, very important. You are going to hear about a DNA analysis from the Wisconsin Crime Lab named Sherry Culhane. Again, Miss Culhane, almost unbelievably, is the very analysis that exonerates Mr. Stephen Avery several years earlier. She's the same analysis that does the detailed DNA work on Mr. Avery's work with the Innocence Project and frees Mr. Avery from his incarceration. Well, that same woman, Sherry Culhane, possesses this vehicle because she's the unit head. Because this is such an important case, she does the work herself. She does all of the analysis of all of the blood that's found in these cases. You are going to hear from Miss Culhane through the assistance of Mr. Gahn what DNA is, that it is a genetic fingerprint, if you will, provides an opportunity, as most of you may already know, to take a sample and to take a unknown sample, something like blood that's found in the back of an SUV, and take a known DNA sample, since our DNA is all the same in all of our bodily fluids. Our blood has the same DNA as our saliva, as our semen, as the skin cells, as our tissue. It's all the same DNA. So, once you develop a profile, each of us all has different DNA. It's unique to each of us, and Mr. Gahn will explain all of that for you. But with that as the background, Miss Colhane was able to establish all of the places in that SUV that had Teresa Halbach's DNA. You are going to learn that they found a large quantity of blood and DNA in the cargo floor and the side panel. The back cargo door, you are going to hear that there were spatters of Teresa's blood in the back cargo door. You are going to hear that on the rear tailgate there were droplets of Teresa's blood. Her DNA is found on the door handle, and also, as I have already alluded, and you might expect, the saliva from the soda can, Miss Colhane will find DNA evidence. I told you about male blood that was in the SUV. On Wednesday, the 9th of November, Stephen Avery subjected to a very thorough medical examination, again, as a result of a warrant, as a result of a judicial authorization to do that particular kind of examination. And what they found was very, very deep cut to Mr. Avery's right middle finger, but importantly, on the outside of his right middle finger, and that's where the cut was.